What's up, Gravel family? Woo! A gravel event that starts on time. Miracles do happen. Welcome to the induction ceremony to the 2025 class of the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame. Woo! It is an honor to be one of the first to welcome you all to Emporia, Kansas, as we kick off Unbound Gravel Week. So thank you all for letting the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame start such a historic and incredible week in our sport. Tonight, we welcome 4 remarkable individuals who've uniquely impacted the sport of gravel cycling in their own way. Amanda Nauman, John Hobbs, Lelan Dains. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Oh, wow. That actually scared me. And Ted King. Okay. They join a collective of 19 total people now, affectionately named G-Choffers. Combined, those 19 people have 280 years of involvement in our sport and counting. So thank you all for 280 amazing years. Every year, I try to find a quote that summarizes this year's class. This year came from a surprise announcement video that Laura King put together for TED. While the words were directed towards TED, it was such a good summary of this class I had to share. The quote came from Jeff Junkston, and it was, "You didn't just ride the wave of gravel. You built it, you rode it, and you made the rest of us believe in it." So to Amanda, John, Leland, and Ted, thank you for helping build something worth believing in. Tonight is our turn to thank you for the unseen sacrifices and challenges you all overcame in making this sport a better place. I'm going to get the formalities out of the way, and then we're going to bring up our MC and welcome our new G-Choffers into the hall. So why are we here? The Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame exists to recognize and celebrate those who explore, endure, overcome, and inspire in the sport of gravel cycling. No doubt, the class of 4 tonight have done that and more. Across the street, just north of Merchant Cycles, is the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame Museum. We ask you all this week to go check it out. We did a really cool overhaul on it this year, so if you went to it last year, be sure to check it out this year. And take the time to read the stories and the memories that have been shared through gravel. We know there are so many more stories that need to be shared, and we can't wait to capture those in many, many years to come. My name is Jason Strobing. I have the honor of being the president of the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame board, but as with everything, it takes a team. Would all the current and former board members of the Hall of Fame stand and be recognized? I would also like to point out this year is really special for us because we have 2 board members being inducted tonight. Leland was a founding member of the Hall of Fame, and Amanda has served on the board for 2 years. After much convincing from the rest of the board, they finally allowed us to nominate them. They both sat out of the voting process and almost unanimously were voted into this class. They have been incredibly busy helping plan and organize their own party, and I think it goes to show their true character and dedication to this sport. So especially to you 2, I hope you can finally relax and really take the time to experience how thankful this sport is for you and all you've given. The Hall of Fame inductees are voted on by over 60 individuals, including the current inductees of the Hall of Fame, the board, a diverse group of individuals from promoters, athletes, media, and industry professionals, and longtime supporters of gravel. If there are any voting electors here tonight, can you please stand and be recognized? Excuse me. Any electors here? Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time you spent reading all the nominations and making the incredible difficult decision on who you feel should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is also a great time to encourage us all to nominate for the class of 2026. We open our nominations to the public every November. If you have someone you feel should be up on this stage for 2026, please write a well-written nomination and submit those to our election committee so that we can help share the stories and give those to the nominees to decide for the next class of 2026. Our sponsors, first and foremost, to the entire Gravel community, the Gravel family, you have given us something worth celebrating and worth having a Hall of Fame. So if you have gone to an event, volunteered, you're a promoter, however, if you've liked and shared something on Instagram, big or small, however you've impacted our sport, thank you. You are our biggest sponsor, and our entire sport belongs to you. So thank you to you. We do have big goals for the Hall of Fame, and many of those wouldn't be possible without you all tonight helping us with the banquet, donating. We do tonight as well at the after party. We'll have a free will donation there if you want to donate. That goes a long ways. And also our corporate sponsors. Our banquet ceremony and founding sponsor, they were our first call and our first yes. We wouldn't be here without them. Shimano, thank you so much for your support. The meal tonight was sponsored by Good Life Brands and Certified Piedmontese. Let's give it up to them. Thank you so much to the chefs. They prepared everything this morning up in Lincoln, drove it all down, and then they have to drive back tonight for a bunch of events tomorrow. So long day and amazing food. So thank you to them. Our after party tonight, which is right across the street at Merchant Cycles. Thank you to Merchant Cycles, by the way, for letting us have a place to party. But our after party is sponsored by Niner Bikes, so be sure to join us. So thank you so much to Niner Bikes. And then our general sponsors this year are Ripton Jeans, Untapped Maple, Ride with GPS, and Head Wheels. So thank you so much to our general sponsor. The booklets on your table, those were sponsored by Ride with GPS, and they were made by Toby DePaw and Mordecai Books. All of those are individually pressed by hand on old school printing press methods. Please take those if you would like those. If you are not interested in keeping them, just leave them at your table. We collect those at the end, and we'll use them for years to come for anybody that asks for them. Also want to give a huge shout out to the individual who made our trophies. Mike Suter is a 50-year cancer survivor and runs Woodworker vs. Cancer. He donates 100% of his time, skill, and raw material in exchange for direct donations to St. Jude's Hospital. In 2024, he raised over $20,000, and his goal is over $25,000 this year. The trophies tonight helped money to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So if you ever need high-end wooden trophies, plaques, custom cutting boards, cheese boards, please reach out to Woodworker vs. Cancer on Instagram. So, all right, enough of me. All the boring stuff out of the way. Let's get our MC up here and start celebrating why we're here. Your MC tonight is the man behind the hugs, the hype, and the unwavering positivity that is an unmatched light in our sport. He brings the energy, the passion. He's the founder of Mid-South Gravel and is a first ballot inductee into the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame. Please welcome your MC for the evening, Bobby Wintle.
All right. We knew that microphone was not going to stay there very long. Now, didn't we? How's everybody doing? All right. Okay, I thought this would be fun, and I know that he had some people stand up, but I had an idea for like an icebreaker for everybody in the room. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to see who has done the most Unbound Gravel 200 finishes and or starts? But let's just go with finishes. So if you've done the 200-mile race, please stand. Stand. No clapping yet. No clapping yet. Let's get there. We'll get there. If you've done it one time, and you finished one time, stand up. And you guys are included too. Anybody up there? We got nobody up there? Oh, no, come on, stand up, baby. Stand up. Yeah, oh, we got people over here. Sorry. There's a light in my face. I'm sorry, it's my bad. Okay, if you finished twice, then stay standing. Bob, I see you, Bob. If you finished 3 times, 4. Ooh, 5. 6 200-mile finishes. Ooh, baby, it's getting spicy in here right now. 7. Oh, man, let's go! Dan Hughes, Bobby Thompson, Jeff Young, 8 times. Oh! Sit down, Jeffy. 9 times. Oh! 10-time unbound gravel finisher. Dan Hughes, everybody, the one and the only. Let's keep going. 11, 12, 13. Okay. All right. 12 times. Dan. Oh, man, is he overcompensating for something, or is he just really talented? I don't know which one it is. Just kidding. Paulina's in the house? Okay, sick. Never mind. All right. On a serious note, this is family, y'all. This is friendship. This is hard work. This is our professional life. This is our personal life. This is something that we have all deeply cared about or been related to someone or connected to someone that cares about this piece of time and this new athletic endeavor. John Hobbs is going to tell us that this is not new, so sorry, John. I'm sorry, it's not new. I know that. And I believe with all of my heart that everything that's happening in this industry is because of the people that are in this room right here, right now. And I am honored to be here, and I'm honored to say that you are my friends and that you are my family. And I thought music was going to be my whole life, and then this whole dirt gravel road thing happened, and then the most beautiful, biggest, most supportive, craziest, coolest family that I could have ever imagined showed up. I think that the people that are being inducted tonight and the people that have been inducted over the last 3 years previous are the embodiment of the past, the present, and the future of this sport. And someone recently told me in a conversation that the best lived life, the most well-rounded life, is one that is aware of the past, that is consciously aware also of the present, and anticipating the future. And I think that the inductees tonight absolutely embody those 3 things. We are right now the past, the present, and the future of gravel cycling in the entire world. And it's my pleasure to induct these people who I believe are my friends and family, if they will have me, into the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame tonight. So thank you for having me on this stage. It is my honor. Thank you. Let's get right into it. I'm not good with jokes. I'm good at inspirational speeches, and that was the only one I had for you. So let's go right into it. First and foremost, our first inductee of the evening. This pen is gonna kill me, okay? Just stay right there. All right. Athlete, promoter, storyteller, industry leader, roteur, and I believe inspirational person for young women looking to be endurance and cycling athletes in general. While Amanda Nauman Sheik may be best known as a professional gravel cyclist, her work to promote the positive aspects of gravel cycling has had a profound and lasting impact. With an early background in mountain bike and cyclocross racing, Sheik's transition into the gravel world was met with quick success. Her resilience and detail-oriented nature combined with fierce competitiveness to propel Sheik to the top of the podium in gravel's largest events. And she's done it all the while also working full-time as a quality manager in the aerospace industry. She's not only fast, but she is also beautiful, and she has the brains. It's amazing. Sheik is a 2-time Unbound 200 champion and holds the distinction of winning one of the toughest editions of the event, the infamous Mud Year in 2015. She followed it up with another victory at the event in the next year in 2016 and 2 second-place finishes in the subsequent years. A podium threat any time she toes the line. Sheik is a 5-time winner at the Rock Cobbler. She's also topped the podium at Mid-South and Belgian Waffle Ride in California and has finished on the Unbound XL 350-mile podium. Beyond her on-bike achievements, Sheik is a recognized thought leader in gravel cycling. Her long-running podcast, Rodeo, provides inspiration for aspiring cyclists and insight on the sport's toughest topics. Her development into a media role gave her the opportunity to host some of the earliest social media live events and live streams for big events where she gave the women's race the coverage that it deserved. Yes. Sheik's acumen for product testing has also made her a valuable asset to the companies she's partnered with. Additionally, Sheik demonstrates her commitment to preserving the rich history of gravel cycling as a Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame advisory board member. Sheik and her husband Dave are co-founders of Mammoth Tough in Mammoth, California, a challenging gravel event. The event showcases the beauty and challenge of the local terrain, and its culture has positively contributed to the growth and diversity in the gravel cycling scene. After 3 years of running Mammoth Tough as an independent event, in 2025, the Sheiks made the event one of the first ever US-based UCI Gravel World Series events. The move showcases Sheik's desire to continually innovate, raise the bar, and push the sport forward. Sheik's impact as an athlete, promoter, industry leader, and advocate for the gravel cycling community is significant. It's helped countless athletes and enthusiasts find their own unique love of the sport through a unique combination of inspiration, empowerment, and shared perspective. Amanda Nauman is not only an incredible athlete, but she has been one of the mainstays of our sport and one of the most encouraging and most solid humans that I've ever come to know. When she tells you that she will be somewhere, she will be there. She has supported this industry. She has supported the groundbreakers. She has been one herself. Amanda Nauman is a true leader in our sport, and she is still doing the hard work and is not done yet, and it is my absolute honor. So please welcome with me 2025 inductee to the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame, Amanda Panda Nauman Sheik, everybody.
Can you hear me? Is this good? I'm not going to hold it like he did. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, okay. So to stand here tonight among so many legends and pioneers of this sport in the spiritual home of gravel, Emporia, Kansas, is an incredible honor. Honestly, if you told me trudging through the mud with what felt like bird nests for shoes back in 2015, that I'd be here a decade later, I'd have said, you're insane. But it's funny how those early crazy challenges not only shaped us, but inspired so many others to chase even more and bring even more people along for the ride. Thank you to Dan and Yuri for continuously bugging me about submitting a nomination, despite my best efforts to keep pushing it off. Thanks to the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame Board for tirelessly working behind the scenes to build this to what it is today. Thank you to everyone who took the time to submit a nomination, and thank you to the electors for recognizing my journey enough to place me in this hallowed company. I struggled with shaping any sort of speech for today. I much prefer sitting behind a microphone without an audience, interviewing other people for Grodeo, but working backwards, thinking about what I wanted people to remember about my career that got me to standing here today. There are three main themes that I want to be the takeaways: perseverance, encouragement, and helping other people. Tonight, I want to talk about the long roads, the open doors, and the hands that helped me along the way. When people talk about my career, they often highlight the wins: BWR, Mid-South, Rock Cobbler, a couple times right outside this theater, and those moments are certainly etched in my memory. But what I want you to remember even more are the times that I didn't win. The countless seconds. I have just as many second places at DK than I do wins. The near misses, the races where my body just refused to cooperate. I recall so many instances on rides where there were more good reasons to quit than to keep going. The fatigue, the doubt, there are always good reasons to give up. But my successes, the ones you see celebrated, were built on a foundation of sacrifice and a stubborn refusal to give up. It was about pushing past the easy choice to quit, and instead, as our friend Jay Peterberry would say, to ride forward. For me, the real story isn't just about the podiums, it's about recognizing that celebrating the wins is the easy part. The more transformative journey lies in learning to grow from the moments of struggle and when things simply refuse to go your way. In 2015, I was a broke cyclocross racer that started back at a real job just a month after crossing this finish line right outside because I couldn't make enough money to be a professional bike racer. The win is glorified, but the real stories are so different, and perseverance isn't just for the finish line, but for everything leading up to it and even after it. The second theme tonight is about opening doors and encouraging women. My path into this industry and sport was shaped by pivotal opportunities given to me. My first job out of college was an internship at Felt Bicycles, and it came because Jeff Sochek saw something in a cover letter that I wrote for a job I was absolutely not qualified for. He basically created the role for me in their engineering department because I conveyed how badly I wanted to work there and laid out exactly how I could help them. Then there was Dave, who after finishing top 10 in the 2014 Unbound event said, "You could win this race." He also tricked me into my first cyclocross race because he knew I had the potential to do well, and look how that spiraled into a decade of chasing dreams. Dave should be standing up here with me because of how much he poured into supporting me. And my parents, who always told me I could do anything I set my mind to, and my dad, who put me on a dirt bike and mountain bikes when I was little, not giving me any reason to think that little girls couldn't do those things. I looked back at my career and did some quick math. Every sponsorship and every work opportunity that I was given since I started racing at a high level, and from that math, the reality is that 81% of those significant opportunities and contacts came from men, while 19% came from women. And this isn't a critique, it's simply the landscape as it existed and in many ways still exists. It would be completely unrealistic for me to stand here tonight and suggest that tomorrow we can just hire a bunch of more women into specific roles in the bike industry. It's not realistic. The true long-term solution lies in planting the seeds now, and it's about encouraging girls and young women to believe that they are capable of incredibly hard things, to ride their bikes, to tackle epic challenges, to truly believe that they can excel in fields and roles traditionally dominated by men. It's about fostering that self-belief from the ground up so that in the future, that 19% becomes a more accurate reflection of the incredible talent and passion that women bring to this sport and this industry. I'm incredibly grateful to all the men who opened doors for me in this two-wheeled world, and I hope more men lead by your examples. To all the men in this room, do your best to encourage and make space for your female counterparts, your friends, your partners, your kids. Tell them to do tough things and allow them to believe that they can do whatever they want to dream big about. My final and perhaps most important theme, the responsibility we have to help others. At its core, professional racing is a very selfish and very ruthless endeavor. You're constantly pushing your own limits, looking for individual glory. and only worrying about yourself. But the greatest thing we can do to ensure the longevity and the health of gravel cycling is to build each other up, to share our knowledge, to seek out the next generation of passionate individuals, and to bring them to the table, helping them realize their own potential. My commitment to this ideal has led me to support other racers, people like Drew Dillman, who's here tonight, to work on fun projects with incredibly talented creative photographers and videographers, and to engage with development programs designed to uplift the next generation. It also inspired the creation of Mammoth Tough, not just another race, but an event that I really wanted just to bring more people from all walks of life to the gravel table and encourage and introduce them to this magic. This honor isn't just about my individual achievements, it's a recognition of the collective spirit of gravel and our shared responsibility to nurture it. What makes this relatively young discipline so beautiful is the fact that so many people have been inspired to nurture it and make many different versions of what they think that is for themselves. Keep doing that, and we'll be in a good place down the road. My final thank yous, David, my parents, my family, Bill Scheiken, he invited me to that first episode of Grodio, and I just never left, and he encouraged me to keep doing it. My friends that I've made near and far along the way. A very special shout out to the race promoters. A lot of my successes and everything that I've done would be nothing without them. Dorothy Wong in Southern California, Sam Ames, and Michael Marks. My sponsors who have supported me, there's so many of you, and I appreciate every single one of you. And finally, the photographers and creatives who tell our stories and continue to help shape this discipline. I'm genuinely humbled by this recognition, and while I often feel I have so much more to contribute, I will embrace this honor as a profound inspiration to continue championing and developing the sport. Thank you, Gravel.
Great speech, Amanda. It was amazing. Okay, I realized that I missed something. I should have sat down after 200 finishes. I have 200 finishes. I'm not trying to brag or anything, just letting you know. I also wanted to see how many XL 350 finishers we have in the house tonight. So if you've done at least one and finished a an Unbound XL, I keep doing that, gosh dang it. Stand up with me, please. Oh, yeah. Not only do we have finishers here, but we have champion, Kristen Legan. All right, if you have finished 2 XLs, please stay standing. All right, if you have finished 3 XLs, that's it we got? Okay, all right, 2. And then out of you, who is towing the line for the 350 again this weekend? Stand, please. Let's give it up for Kristen Legan. Kristen, come on, let's go. Woo! We're hoping for Kristen to get that finish again, and we'll watch her crush the field. Okay, here we go. Everybody doing okay? Anybody need a drink? Anybody need a bathroom break? Okay, good. I have a porta potty just off here, stage right. If anybody needs one, you can come up and check it out with me. I'm just kidding. Next, all right, so this individual I don't know very well, but today I got the rare opportunity to go on a bike ride with him, and Dan Hughes and Josh Weinberg and I all got to ride back with someone that has been deeply legendary in my mind because of the things that I know that they were doing before I was even alive on this planet. And maybe a lot of you that are involved were not alive while this man was thinking, hey, you know what? It'd be pretty sick to ride these steel, very rigid, very terribly fitting, poor geared mountain bikes, 26-inch, out on these dirt roads in the Flint Hills and create an iconic event that has scared me since the moment that I've ever heard the name, and that event is called the Flint Hills Death Ride. If you don't know about the Flint Hills Death Ride, this was in 80 to 90, depends on the year, how long it was, in the middle of August, I believe. So, the first weekend of August, thank you for correcting. First week, hot, we're talking hot, people. Hot as hell, that's hot. In the Flint Hills, no support, correct? There was SAG. They were talking about it today on the ride. Pretzels, oranges, yes, all the things that are good. Pioneers. These people were pioneers, and they were doing this, laying literally the foundation for the fabric of what we are all now doing, with people coming from, 60, 70 countries to be here this weekend, every single state. This man was doing it first and alongside his wonderful bride. Tell me your name, I forgot. Carol. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names sometimes. Okay, promoter, storyteller, innovator, rotor, John Hobbs. While the task of deciding exactly when or where the modern gravel era started, it's clear that John Hobbs was an early visionary in the sport. As far back as the mid-1980s, Hobbs was hosting formal rough road rides in the southern Flint Hills of Kansas. Hobbs worked in a variety of local bike shops in Wichita and Newton, Kansas, where he witnessed the popularity of mountain biking explode firsthand. But his location in the Flint Hills region of eastern Kansas gave him easy access to an almost unlimited supply of incredible gravel and dirt roads. As the rest of the world was struggling to wrap their arms around the mountain bike, Hobbs was already on to the next big thing. He saw the potential of Flint Hills gravel as a very desirable place to ride bicycles, not just for himself, but for others. Buoyed by the local success of his rough road rides, Hobbs began promoting a ride out of Matfield, Kansas, called the Matfield Green 100K. This evolved into the infamous Flint Hills Death Ride, an event that was known for being rougher than most mountain bike races. Largely credited as one of the first modern-era gravel road events, the Flint Hills Death Ride was a 100K test of endurance and self-sufficiency. The event's long run from 1989 to 2001 under Hobbs, then from 2002 to 2011 under new leadership, often attracted more than 600 riders at its peak. The success of the Flint Hills Death Ride proved that cyclists wanted to explore beyond paved roads onto roads less traveled. In a 2016 article in Sports Illustrated magazine, dude, that's sick, Hobbs shared his impetus for starting his gravel events in Kansas. We got tired of reading how truly epic rides were only in places like California and Colorado, Hobbs said. So we set up a ride that we knew that even under good conditions would test you, and under bad conditions would be nearly impossible. I concur, yes. I understand. In fact, it was the challenge and success of the Flint Hills Death Ride that inspired a group in Emporia, Kansas to create the DK200/Unbound Gravel in 2005. Hobbs chartered and pioneered new routes for cyclists that previously were only known to farmers, ranchers, and cattle. He was clearly one pedal stroke ahead of the rest of the pack in recognizing not just the utility of gravel roads, but the underappreciated beauty of areas unknown to most. Through Hobbs' efforts, countless cyclists were exposed to cycling on Flint Hills gravel roads, a region that today is recognized worldwide as the premier gravel cycling destination. John, I think I say for everyone here, thank you for pioneering what we all now love so much that has shaped our lives in so many ways. You are absolutely more than deserving for this award, and it is my honor. Please welcome 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, the one and the only John Hobbs. Seriously.
I have notes. Let's see how this works. Oh my. Heads up! Hey, it worked. All the Death Ride alumni who are here are quite familiar with that phrase because that's how we started every one of our riders meetings before we sent them out on the course. And you had to pay attention at the riders meeting because we discussed map changes, route hazards, relocated water stops, really important stuff. And it made for a very long day if you missed the meeting or if you did not pay attention. And I would like to believe what we're going to cover here now is really important stuff. First of all, thank you. I am deeply honored. It's sucks to get nervous. I have often used variations of the quote attributed to a guy by the name of Father Strickland. A man may do an immense deal of credit. A man may do an immense deal of good if he does not care who gets the credit for it. And indeed, the joy that was the Flint Hills Death Ride wasn't because we were trying to create an event. It was the result of a collective effort by incredible individuals to do something challenging and have a good time doing it. But there are specific people who I need to thank. And in no particular order, Bobby Smith, Dan Hughes, Lelan Dains. You guys are in the game early to get me into the Hall of Fame, and you need to know how deeply appreciative I am. And then there's the folks who actually made that decision. Thank you. You have validated my contribution to this idea that, yeah, you can ride a bicycle in Flint Hills, and it'll be fun, damn it! And Dan, where are you? All right, I've got a story about you. We're going to have a beer sometime so I can figure out if it's true or not, okay? And for no other reason than I'd really like to know who I'm talking to, if you are any of the alumni of the Gap and the Map rides, the Rough Road rides, the Matfield Green 100K, or the Flint Hills Death Ride, I'd like you guys to stand, or women stand. Come on, get up if you were doing it. Yeah, we got them. We got them. Thank you.
And it wasn't 100K.
Well, sort of.
It was more like 80.
Well, it all depended how the GPS read out. And it was never the same twice. When I was a kid growing up in Nebraska, we got taught a lot about true pioneers. And you folks are the real thing. We don't have to wonder or imagine what a pioneer looks like. You just look at these people who stood here because they were the first. They had no idea, neither did we for that matter, and did these things. All of what we see and have here today is a result of you stepping up in one flashing moment of grand insanity said, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's go. And off we went. Grand insanity indeed. One of the nicest compliments I ever received was from Wes Jackson of the Land Institute. He met us at the old schoolhouse in Matfield Green after one of the rides, and after chatting about where we had ridden and where we had gone, he looks at me and says, you know you guys are crazy, right? Yes, sir, we are. It's a love story, really. You've got to love this thing that we do. It's too hard to accomplish any other way. There are too many rough patches, too much hardship, too much uncertainty, too much despair. It's that we unconditionally love it that allows us to do these things, doing what needs to be done. What we engage in here is truly a human experience. It's love that makes you hand that extra water bottle to that person who did not listen at the writer meeting and ran out of water some on the other side of Texaco Hill. It's love that entices a diminutive, little, inner-city girl from Michigan, no less, which is nothing like Kansas, to load up a 1978 microbus with 4 very active children. Load that bus with water, as she said, 40 gallons of water, bananas, oranges, pretzels, and follow a bunch of wild, raving biker types and have fun doing it. Right there she is, my beloved. There are people who are alive today who would not be if not for the command and control she brought to the events that we did. And it's love that makes that happen. It's love that made an older woman last year at the end of her 200-mile route take one look at my oldest son trying to finish the 350 XL and in serious trouble, say to herself, that boy needs help. And he did. And she helped pull him into the finish, and we never got to say thank you. But you folks know the drill. You don't do those things because of the possibility of aggrandizement. You do them out of love. Basic fundamental human love for yourselves and for each other. Effort like this is not possible any other way. It's love that makes folks like Mike Bryant and Pat Long of Lawrence, Kansas stick with this. Mike is credited with coining the term Flint Hills Death Ride, though at the time he was cursing about a particularly muddy section of the course to anyone within earshot saying, this is no expletive-deleted bike ride, it's a expletive-deleted death march. And the name stuck, thanks to you Lawrence, Kansas folks. Pat did all the artwork for our t-shirts. We've got some in the crowd today. And I believe the rest of them are over at the museum. I do not use the word art loosely when describing her drawings. And again, the only way you produce stuff like that is because you love what it is. And they are on display, right? Okay, good deal. It's love that made all the volunteers and the families that came out and supported anyone they thought needed it. No questions asked. We had families come up from Oklahoma whose logistic prowess left me in awe. Oh, God, we love doing this, was the reply of one of the women in that group when I mentioned that we appreciated the amount of effort and investment that they brought with them on those rides. It's love that made Death Ride volunteers like Kent Stanzel of Wichita, who demanded that I let him run the Camp Creek sag stop. He absolutely loved doing it, and he loved the people that he helped there. And he was no stranger to what was required. He was a longtime veteran of the Biker Cross Kansas events and helped us on multiple rides. He knew what he was getting into. There was no soft comfort of illusion. To quote Henry Shakespeare's Henry V, once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. It's love that drives all of this community, this tribe, this family. And like any human group of more than two people, there is a corresponding competition, stress, different visions, different goals, all of that which goes into making an active human experience. And one of the problems is we really don't have a language for what it is that we do. But I have to say, we do a pretty good job of moving this ball of human experience forward. And forward we will go. I have long noted that there is no reverse gear on a multi-geared bicycle. I'm sure you can back pedal a fixie and go in the opposite direction, but you still have to pedal in that direction. This weekend we got asked about how many riders do we have this week in total? 5,000 riders, individually empowered cyclists who will mount their machines, take one hard look at the road ahead and the weather, flip that I can do this switch in the back of their heads, and go. For them, there is no reverse. It's either forward to the finish, forward through a shortcut, forward back to the start, or forward in the back of someone's support vehicle. You move forward in the knowledge about yourself, you move forward in what you learn about your machine, you learn forward about what to eat, what not to eat. You learn about water and what it's like not to have enough. Or if it's a wet year, too much. You learn about these humans you're with. I had a local rancher tell me once that the Flint Hills was way too hard a country for any dishonest person to last for very long. And I believe that to be true. And you have to love it or you simply won't do it. The Kansas state motto is pretty short. Ad aspera per aspera, which roughly translates to the stars through difficulties. And I don't think there's any Latin phrase for Flint Hills. It does sum up very well what gravel riders are all about. We know where we want to go, we know that it will be difficult, and we know that we love doing it. And we love the people we are with. Be safe, be smart, and have fun. Thank you.
Well, now I'm just questioning, is John Hobbs actually my father, or is it Robert Gene Wintle Jr.? I don't know. I'm not sure. But if you ever wondered what I might look like in like 4 or 5 years, this is it. John is amazing, man. Thank you again. One more round for John. I do want to say thank you so much to the board, to everybody on the board, the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame, for allowing me to be up here. I was asking my friends at my table how many times they think that I'd be allowed to say the F word, and I decided I probably shouldn't do that. I probably shouldn't. So I'm not going to do that. But no, seriously, it's not only an honor, of course, obviously, to be inducted into this incredibly cool and tight-knit group of people, but to be up here in this moment with all of you. I do want to bring attention to the fact that these events they are whirlwinds. We talk about them as circuses, and I've been very discouraged with the industry throughout the last 5-6 years with the loss of gatherings, with the loss of certain industry events. At some of our suppliers and some of our industry titans, where we had an opportunity to be together, and we had opportunities to take a deep breath, know that we are supported by our peers, share our struggles with our peers, and get reinvigorated with new ideas and new hope and new laughter and new shared struggle and all of that. And tonight, what I believe that the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame board and Lelan putting this all together for the very first time 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this event allows us to stop for one moment all together collectively, see each other, support each other, celebrate each other, eat some good food, and before the circus gets wild at the biggest gravel race on earth, we get a time to be truly and deeply present. So, to the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame board, thank you for making this happen and giving us an opportunity to be present at this moment all together. Thank you. All right, here we go. Okay, this isn't about me at all. But it's not, okay? I promise. It's not. It's about this beautiful man. And it's gonna be real good. We're gonna have some fun, right? This one's gonna be good. Yeah. This man taught me how to mountain bike. This man, I don't know how much is in his speech. Damn, I knew I was going to do this. I knew I was going to cry just a little bit. This is incredibly special. I moved here in 2011, and one of the first people that I saw outside of High Gear Cyclery was this man in his little S10. And he was listening to pop punk music, and we fell in love right away. That fast. I was like, oh, you're listening to Blink-182? You listen to Homegrown? What are you doing? Good Charlotte? MXPX? What is this? What are we doing? Who are you? What are you doing? And I was like, I have a road bike. He was like, that's cute. He's like, I ride my mountain bike faster than you on the road. And he did every single Wednesday group ride that we had out of the campus at Emporia State University. I knew Lelan 2 weeks or something. And I invited him to Crystal and I's wedding, and he came. And he was there. He drove 2.5 hours to be there, and he showed up. This is a man of character. This is a man of absolute vision. He can't stop. We're the same in that regard, and it is something that attracts me to him and has attracted me to him as a friend and a family member, and it will be this way for the rest of our lives. The very first event that either of us were promoters for was called Camp Alexander, and it was a mountain bike race, endurance mountain bike race out at the Camp Alexander trails. Anybody did that race that was here? Anybody? Yeah. Sick. It was a good time, I promise. Promoter, storyteller, industry leader, many rotor, many routes this man has created. Friend, father, husband, absolute industry leader. I don't know how else to say it. With a gravel resume stretching back to the earliest days of Unbound Gravel's predecessor, the DK200, Lelan Dains has played a critical leadership role in the sport of gravel cycling. His tireless vision has helped Unbound Gravel grow into the world's premier gravel event, and his work has been instrumental in putting Kansas gravel on the map as a top travel destination. Since his early days on the Unbound Gravel promotion team, Dains has tirelessly championed gravel cycling, transforming it into a premier tourism attraction worldwide. Through his leadership and vision, Unbound Gravel has become a globally recognized event, drawing riders from around the world and establishing Kansas as a top destination for gravel cycling. His efforts have created win-win opportunities for communities while setting a new standard for the inclusive, community-focused camaraderie that defines the sport today. Dains also played a leadership role in the creation of the Great Plains Gravel Route, a conversation that him and I had 15 years ago, and if it were left up to me, it would have never happened, and this man pushed and pushed and pushed and created a group of individuals to have route leaders and route creators in every state, from Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and North Dakota, and it has now been officially launched on bikepackingroutes.com, 3,500-mile Tour Divide style route from Mexico to Canada. Let's go. I'm so excited about it. We did that together, but actually, it was mostly you. And we all know that's true. It's more than a 3,800-mile network of gravel roads and trails that enable cyclists to experience the rugged beauty of the Central Plains states. The route gives cyclists an opportunity to connect with the places they travel through, emphasizing exploration and resilience. It enables cyclists to appreciate the vast landscapes and unique beauty that make the region so special. Dains helped create an entirely new form of tourism in Kansas by creating more accessible routes within the state. An extension of the Kansas tourism website, Gravel Kansas, features more than 98,000 miles of curated Kansas gravel routes. Visitors can search for routes by region or rider skill level, so they are appropriate routes for virtually any cyclist. In addition to increasing accessibility to Kansas gravel routes, the project has brought notable economic and social benefits to the state's rural communities. Lelan played a pivotal role in bringing NICA high school racing to Kansas, serving as a driving force behind the state's league formation. By touring Kansas and hosting town hall meetings, he inspired future coaches, clubs, and races, laying the foundation for a thriving NICA community. Thanks to his leadership, Kansas became one of the first two Plains states to establish a NICA league, fostering a new generation of youth cyclists. Lelan Dains' enduring impact on gravel cycling, tourism, and community development is a testament to his visionary leadership and passion for the sport. From elevating Unbound Gravel, DK200, to global prominence and fostering economic growth in rural Kansas through gravel tourism, to empowering youth and communities with initiatives like the NICA High School League, Dains has reshaped the landscape of cycling in Kansas and beyond, literally for the rest of time on this planet. His contributions continue to inspire connection, exploration, and a spirit of adventure for cyclists of all ages and abilities. Lelan, you changed my life. You are a brother forever. I cannot imagine this thing existing without you being in it. You are so incredibly deserving, and you have touched the lives of literally thousands of people that you may or may not ever meet. You are so deserving of this award. My brother, please welcome 2025 Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame inductee, the one and only Lelan Dains.
Man, Bobby can make anyone sound cool. Wow. What an honor to stand here tonight. Well, actually, first and foremost, I heard there was an over and under on, not if I cry, but how many times. I'm quite emotional, so get ready for that roller coaster. You better have bet on over, because it's probably going to be a bit. What an honor to stand here tonight, reflect on what this community, this movement has meant to me, try and wrap my head around the fact that there are gravel stages in the Grand Tours now, that we have gravel bikes at all, John? What? What is that? That the wheels on my bike today are literally named Emporia. Thank you, Head. To try to understand what small part I may have played in that and why in the world I am up here on this stage receiving such an honor. But most importantly, I know I'm not up here solely of my own accord. If I have created anything worth honoring, I never did so alone. Never. Unbound Gravel, Gravel Kansas, Great Plains Gravel, NICA Kansas, Merchant Cycles, Endless Ride Camps, Community Adventures, and more, all of it was created with the help of incredible individuals who shared a passion for gravel and community. So a huge, heartfelt thank you to all who have worked alongside me to create in this space. It has been my honor and joy to share this work with you all. But there are a few individuals that I must thank and acknowledge. My wife, Christina. Yeah, she's awesome. Your love, strength, and support have carried me further than any bike ever could. You picked me up when the journey had beaten me down, which it did often. I couldn't have carried on without you. Thank you for choosing to be my riding partner in life. And after more than 10 years of adventures together, I was wondering what might come next. I think we're ready for that tandem. I think our marriage can handle that. No matter what, it's a comfort to know I'll never have to adventure alone. Our children, Adela and Jack, you are the adventure I'm most proud of. My greatest blessing of all is to be your dad. I hope you know how much of my motivation comes from wanting to create a better world for the two of you. I'm excited to dedicate the rest of my life to adventuring with you both. My parents, you taught me what it means to show up fully and work hard. You made choices to do better, to be better, and I am better because of you. I am standing here because of you. And I'm eternally grateful for that. If you didn't catch it when John was asking for alumni of the Flint Hills Death Ride, my father was one who stood up for that, and so it runs deep in the blood. To my siblings, thank you for a lifetime of adventures and memories. Our river exploration and gravel road cruising lit the fire adventure in me at such an early age, I wouldn't change any of it. My aunts, they're the loud ones. What can I say about these ladies? If you know them, you know. Their love and influence helped shape the person I've become. You taught me more than anyone how to love everyone like family. Many a ride was fueled by Aunt JoJo's sweet tea and Aunt Donna's cooking, and perhaps you thought I was riding out there for the free food. It was a nice bonus, but it was always just to see you. There is no love like that which has allowed our family to share our name. My fellow G-Choffers, I stand on your shoulders. I am in awe of each of you, and I'm beyond grateful to know you and count you among my friends. Thank you for the countless untold stories we have shared together. They must remain untold because there's a fair amount of nudity. Right, Dan? Then there's my brother in Stoke, Bobby Wintle. Bobby and I have shared more than a few adventures together. 2 college kids skipping classes to eat half-price bones at Pyramid Pizza and chasing something on bikes out at Camp Alexander and on these gravel roads. That something was all of this. We simply didn't know it then. Bobby's passion has always been a mirror and a spark for me. We've pushed each other, leaned on each other, and built alongside one another. I can't imagine this story, my story, without him in it. Thank you, Bobby, for 20 years of good times on 2 wheels. How about 20 more? As gravel has grown, it's been incredible to witness the movement take root across the globe, especially in Latin America. As someone whose life has been deeply shaped by cross-cultural connection, seeing the rise of groups like Gravel Mexico and Argentina Gravel Bike fills me with so much joy. Their energy, creativity, and heart reflect everything I've always loved about this community. It reminds me that gravel is more than a style of riding, it's a shared language, one that crosses borders and brings people together. A quienes están construyendo comunidad en sus países, les veo, les celebro y les acompaño desde aquí. Ándale pues, amigos. To the next generation of gravel creators, you know who you are. This story is now yours to shape. Don't be afraid to do things differently, even if it makes some of us old guard grumble. Stay rooted in the values that made gravel special in the first place: community, curiosity, courage, and care. Remember that this movement was built not just by races, but by relationships. Keep building paths that invite others in. I know I don't speak only for myself when I say you've got advocates in this growing group of Hall of Famers. Don't hesitate to reach out for support. We've laid some groundwork, but the adventure ahead is yours to lead, and I could not be more excited to see where you take us. Now, I've had the incredible fortune of riding bikes in some of the most beautiful places on earth, truly awe-inspiring landscapes, from California to North Carolina, Costa Rica to Argentina. But the real beauty has always been in the people. It's the reason I chose to return to Emporia, despite having the ability and opportunity to adventure anywhere in the world. It is community that built gravel. While we can debate who's got the best gravel roads, it's the Flint Hills, or where gravel started, whether we charge for gravel or not, to use aero bars or not. If pros are ruining gravel, I don't think you've succeeded yet, Pete. What even constitutes a gravel race? I mean, how much gravel is really necessary, BWR? And oh yes, my favorite, has the spirit of gravel died? My vote is no, for whatever that's worth. It seems there is plenty to debate. What is undebatable for me is the fact that it has always been the people who have made it all so special. So long as we remember that, gravel cycling will be okay. I have always recognized what the bicycle has given me, what the community of cyclists have given to me, and it's so much more than just a bike and shared adventure. It's a connection to the land that shaped me, to the people who raised me, and to the community that inspires me. I've simply spent my life trying to give some of that back to others, and if I am up here tonight because I have succeeded in doing that, then mission accomplished. To everyone who's ridden beside me, believed in what we were building, or simply showed up with an open heart, thank you. You've made this more than a sport, you've made it a way of life, and I'm honored that it's a central part of mine. Now, you might think the best stories have already been told, helping to build things like Unbound Gravel, a statewide network of gravel routes, high school cycling, and Jesus, a gravel route from Mexico to Canada. Don't worry, we plan on getting that tip to tip from North America to South America someday, so hold on to that. These were all massive undertakings, but it's just not in my nature to sit still. These wheels are always turning. I'm sorry, honey. But what shall we build together next? Thank you.
Oh, that's what I call a leader right there. I don't know if you've ever seen one, but that is a leader. That man is amazing. I've just gotten an update that our final award, we've been tracking it all day. We've been keeping eyeballs on it. It's on its way. It's coming. It's not here yet. But our final award is on its way, and we had eyeballs on it. So don't worry if you guys are worried about the final award at all, and like whether or not we were going to have something else to share with you tonight. It's on its way. It's coming. It's we've had, again, like people are checking on it, so just, it's coming. I know you don't know what that means, and it's supposed to be funny, but it's not hitting, and that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I tried. We talked about it earlier at lunch. We thought that would be a good joke, but it wasn't. Noted. All right. Cool. All right. Again, the next person that I get to introduce to all of you is someone that has been a complete surprise and joy of my life to become connected and to call this person a friend and to watch this person grow in their professional career and in fatherhood and as a husband has also impacted me deeply, sometimes together at places across the country and also watching him from afar. Athlete, promoter, storyteller, podcaster, dapper, very dapper, handsome man, again, husband, a dad. I always have to look up to him because he's much, much taller than me. Ted King, widely credited as the first UCI World Tour road cycling competitor to cross over to the gravel cycling discipline. So, I mean, did you run gravel? Did you? I don't think so. It was definitely Pete Stetina. Pete Stetina run gravel. We all know that. Everybody knows it. No, actually, I think Ted has brought a completely beautiful, focused energy into what this sport could and can become. And then we're still obviously working on that. We still don't know exactly what this thing is that we're doing. And this man showed up with this power, with this energy, with this drive, with this incredible charisma. And I think that he helped change and shape things into what we are now doing in a really, really positive way. I had an opportunity to sit next to Laura King and Ted King during a very intense meeting about the future of this whole fiasco that is gravel cycling in the United States. And I watched this man raise his hand first in that room and stand up for the independence of gravel cycling in the United States and keep us all doing the things we love the most in our own individual and weird ways. This man is powerful and he is a leader. Ted King raised the bar for professionalism required to win major gravel events. His transition to and success in gravel cycling paved the way for countless other professional cyclists to find their own success in the gravel world. Prior to his transition to gravel, King was a UCI professional road cyclist for 10 years. Once, during the Paris-Roubaix, this man entered the cobbles in first position. That's sick. In that time, he rode for teams including Cannondale Pro Cycling, Liquid Gas Cannondale, Bissell Pro Cycling, Priority Health, and the United States U23 national team, among others. Early in his career, seeking personal success, and then as a domestique working for others, including Peter Sagan, King notched up countless road victories both in the U.S. and in Europe. King's gravel racing palmarès include winning Unbound Gravel not once, but 2 times in 2016 and 2018. And victories at SBT Gravel, Grinduro, Rebecca's Private Idaho, Vermont Overland, and Unpaved, among others. He also sent the fastest known time, FKT, in his 2020 victory at the Arkansas High Country Race and helped create and draw attention to the burgeoning Vermont VTXL route across his home state of Vermont. I had the absolute pleasure of helping Ted install and attach his dynamo light to his bike in the hotel room the night before we started that race, and I got to ride with him for 15 miles because it was a 15-mile-an-hour max speed on the bike path for, 30 miles, and then we hit gravel roads north of Bentonville, and I watched him fly away. And I was like, oh, wow, I will never see Ted again. And I did not. Though the 2016 edition of the DK200 Unbound was King's first major gravel event, as a native New Englander, he was no stranger to dirt and gravel roads. His incredible motor, built over more than 10 years in the professional road peloton, served him well as he overcame multiple flat tires to secure the victory. From 2018 through 2024, King racked up no fewer than 10 victories and more than 15 podium appearances at major gravel events across the United States. In these years, King would often travel to events with his wife, Laura, and their 2 young children, it was common to see the King family at expos and on race days, always full of smiles, positivity, and encouragement. Though most known as a fierce competitor, King has also focused on giving back to the gravel cycling community. In 2020, while the world was locked down with COVID-19, King created a DIY gravel page on his website. There, cyclists could log their own rides based on what was included on their pre-COVID event calendar. The page was a huge success, attracting entries from more than 40,000 riders from all over the world. King created and promoted the Rooted Vermont gravel event alongside Laura King, who I think was doing a ton of work. Actually, when I was there, I was like, dude, this is sick. What are you doing? And Ted was like, I'm just the parking guy. I'm just telling everybody where to park. He's like, this is Laura's show. She's killing it. And let me tell you, it's one of the best events I've ever been to in my life, you guys. It was incredible. Which hosted 3 successful editions from 2019 to 2022. The events demonstrated his authentic generosity and deep love of the gravel cycling world. Through this focus on genuine interactions with riders and racers of all abilities, King is a constant source of positivity, perspective, and encouragement. He freely shares the lessons he's learned on his YouTube channel and on his 2 different podcasts, and his humility, sincerity, and professionalism serve as a strong example for aspiring cyclists to emulate. Ted, you have been a leader since the moment that you hit the scene, not only at the front of the peloton, but behind the scenes and in your family. And you've made this place way better than I could imagine without you being a part of it. Your contributions will be absolutely felt for a lifetime, and it is my honor to call you a friend. Please welcome 2025, our final Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame inductee, the one and only Mr. Ted King.
Wow. It was a not so random Tuesday about 2 weeks ago that I flew into Tulsa Airport. And Bobby picked me up in our van, and I spent the next 48 hours with him. And if you've not had the pleasure of hanging out with Bobby one-on-one, and you've only experienced him mid-south or here, what you see is what you get, and that man is absolutely amazing. So thank you, Bobby. My message is certainly going to be one of thanks. I would like to start by thanking everyone who submitted nominations. I know a handful of you are here in the audience now. Making it into this hall begins somewhere, and could easily be argued that it started with your nomination. I'd, of course, like to extend my gratitude to the electors. Those nominations don't go very far without the support of the electors, so thank you very much for those who cast your vote in my favor. A very, very special thanks goes out to Dan Hughes, who's been recognized a couple times, a well-known Hall of Famer, of course, my mentor in my early attempts at this race this very weekend, which helped put me on the gravel map. Dan recently, maybe a year or 2 ago, where are you, Dan, right now? He said, Ted, you are worthy of this hall, but you're not getting in as long as you're still racing. And by my math, in 40 hours, I'm lining up for another race. So anyway, thank you, Dan. A huge thanks goes out to the advisory board, Lelan, Toby, Steve, Amanda, Ben, Laura, and of course the very enthusiastic, sincere, loving, hardworking president, Jason. I knew about this hall, but it wasn't until that I attended the induction ceremony last year that I saw how important this entity is. I saw the passion. I continue to see this passion in this group and the energy and the movement that gravel has become since my time began 10 years in this sport. So it is a great, great honor to be here. Now I would like to start or continue with a little bit of show and tell. We can go back one page when we have the opportunity. This is my Swayze Central School class of 1995 elementary school yearbook, which is a pretty good looking bit of literature if you ask me, because I drew the cover. Perhaps, if we go to the next slide, on account of being voted most artistic by my peers. Yeah, exactly. We're going to get to that. Okay, but in particular to this yearbook, I want to draw attention to what was going through my mind 30 years ago in the future ambition section. So I took this from the yearbook that I found, my mom courteously found in my childhood bedroom, and I was very excited to see this still existed. Okay, so this is what I wrote 30 years ago. I see myself in the future as a famous award-winning hockey player playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Recently ousted from the Stanley Cup playoffs, we can ignore that. That will take up most of my time in the winter, but if I do get a little break, I'm going to go to a nearby ski mountain and be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a freestyle snowboarder. In the summer, I picture myself being a professional tennis player, winning things like the US Open and Wimbledon. And finally, all year round, I will own a fancy restaurant with Matthew Blaisdell, with whom we were awarded the superlative of best friends. And we will both be world-famous gourmet chefs. Aim big, right? And meanwhile, I just want to draw really quick attention because as I was scrolling through this yearbook recently, I came upon my friend Jason Lightbound, who I kid you not wrote this as a 6th grader. In 25 years, I picture myself in an old rundown trailer park, working 1 day a week at an unheard of gas station. The rest of my money will come from my 6 ex-wives. I'll wear the same pair of jeans every day with a white bolo tie and a cowboy hat. I'll have a big screen TV and I'll sit on the couch, the only piece of furniture in my trailer, and watch TV all day, eating chips and other junk food. I'll have an old beat-up, rusty Chevy pickup with a broken radiator and no muffler. It will also have a gun rack on the back window with a .22 hanging on it, and the only radio station I will listen to is WOKQ 97.5, and my favorite song will be I Left My Exes in Texas. Whether Jason is a comedian these days or living in said trailer, I do not know. At this period in my life, though, 6th grade, I call things pretty normal. My parents were very loving and supportive. My mom looked after a very busy household in raising my brother and me, and my dad was a constant presence too, although he was often off at work diligently, working as he amassed just shy of 25 years in his career as a physician without a single sick day. And I draw particular attention to this period not because I correctly foresaw my future induction into an athletic hall of fame. I just missed the sport in which I'd be inducted. Instead, it was because it was a very impactful period in my life. In particular, I remember my dad planting little nuggets of wisdom as I went out of the door every day. Make it a better day for somebody else, he would say. Your mind is a sponge, Teddy. Just try to absorb everything today. And I don't remember my exact reaction at the time, but I'm quite certain it was something along the lines of rolling my eyes. But here we are 30 years later, and those little messages, those tidbits, they really have stuck with me. I'm a father now, and I find myself doing the exact same things with my kids these days, offering little bits of life knowledge, which generally results in eye rolling. My parents weren't cyclists. Although, as the family rumor goes, they did exchange some beautiful Schwinn cruisers as wedding gifts. I imagine they got plenty of use before Robbie and I came into the picture and took up more of their time, but the memory is that only of being garage ornaments. My point being, my parents were not cyclists, and heck, we really didn't know what cycling was, but Robbie and I could have done anything, and my parents would have absolutely wholeheartedly supported it. Growing up, I played basketball and soccer and hockey, my true athletic love. I was into art, school government. I didn't play any instruments, to my mom's chagrin. But whatever I was up for, they wholeheartedly supported. Whether it was early morning drives to the rink or late night drives home from practice, they were in for it. So while it goes without saying, I could say it a million more times. It still would not be enough. Mom and Dad, thank you for everything. My brother, Robbie, stumbled on cycling in high school, the King family introduction to the sport, which has certainly changed my life forever. I'm sure I'm missing some details here, but as the story goes, he had a teacher who lobbed out the invitation to anyone interested in getting into the sport of cycling. Come on out later that day and see if you like it. Anyone and everyone was going to be invited, much like we say in gravel. Robbie was immediately bitten by the cycling bug, That led to an undefeated first racing season. It gave him a handful of national championship titles, a professional racing career, and countless stories. Like the time that he and I were teammates and we shared a waterbed for an entire week at a bike race in Arkansas. Or another time when he was already an accomplished cyclist. I remember being very new to the sport and I asked Robbie, hey, do you want to take me on my first century ride? It was probably his dozenth. He agreed, and I'm sure he didn't break a sweat. I found it to be the single hardest athletic achievement of my life. And now, go figure, 2 decades later, I have 3.5 centuries that I'm slated to ride in just a couple days. Robbie, I am so grateful for your support, your mentorship, you're introducing me to the sport of cycling, having you as a teammate once upon a time, and being able to call you my brother. I thank you. From time to time, people will get to know my wife, Laura, and me, and the question will come up, where did you two meet? Perhaps it is no surprise that we met on a bike. A little-known tidbit, but fun addition to the story, is we met on an iconic bike route called King Ridge. And almost immediately afterwards, and my spot has been lost. Apologies. Almost immediately afterwards, I had a trip to attend in Colorado, and she agreed when I asked her to join. A similar thing happened when I had a trip to Italy. We were living in California at the time, so there were more trips soon after to visit families in New England and Washington State, plenty of other spots all over the world, so that realistically, up at this point in the present, we have traveled hundreds of thousands of miles, flown, driven, and ridden together. I couldn't have asked for a better partner in this adventure. I don't say it enough, but I am so thankful for your support, and I love you. Another aside, it was early in our relationship, call it mid-May 2016, when she had a riding trip with friends to the Colorado Rockies, which she had to skip because she said, wait for it, why are you going to Emporia, Kansas? So go figure, now we come here in our free time. Darn you, phone, I should have printed my notes. So many other people that I know I should thank. My team at Untapped, Doug and Roger and Andrew, who shared the idea that maple syrup can be used to fuel a bike ride or any kind of athletic adventure. Thank you and the whole Untapped team for supporting and believing in me for the past 10 plus years. The King family forever friend Beth, someone I have known since I was my own children's age. She now watches our kids, Hazel and Hayden, which allows me to get out and ride. She's the picture of support in our family in good times and in bad. Beth, I'm so thankful for your support. Truth be told, I imagine that I could talk to 90% of more people in this room and extend my appreciation for some particular aspect in getting me to this literal stage or this stage in life. So I mean it when I say thank you all. So to quickly wrap up, I've talked for the past little bit about lots of different periods of time. And here I am 1 week shy of my 20th college reunion. Yes, I will be attending. So it's, a thing you think about in this period related to college and secondary education, where you're going to be doing after work, or after you graduate, where you're going to be doing for work. One of the more standout slivers of wisdom that my dad would mention in subtle passing when I was young. He would say, I kid you not, these are the kinds of things he would say. If you love your job, Teddy, you will never work a day in your life. This is the kind of advice that you can offer up when, just like my dad did, loved his job. So here I am staring down my 20th college reunion, which marks my 20th year of riding and racing a bike. Bike racing is the first job that I took out of college, directly or indirectly, is the only job that I have ever had. I look back and I can't help but agree with my dad that the job of riding and racing a bike has never once felt like work. So thank you, Dad, very much, and I thank you all very much.
Okay, last 2 things that you're going to hear from me. A couple things that I forgot that I wanted to say. 2 more accolades that I want to bring to your attention for people that are being inducted tonight. First and foremost, Amanda Nauman, this Saturday, if you are able to finish the 25-mile distance at Unbound, it hasn't happened yet, folks, so if she finishes, she will be the first human being ever to finish every single distance that is offered at Unbound ever. I believe in you. I think you got this one. I believe in you. Secondly, another thing that I just to make you feel and fall in love with Ted King even just a little bit deeper. This year at Mid-South, we had historic winds. We had a historic fire that's never happened before, and Mid-South was canceled. Ted had called me a few weeks before and was like, yo, I'm going to finish the 100 in the front pack, probably. He didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, okay, he's going to be in the front. This is going to be wild. And as soon as I finish, I'm going to make the decision on whether or not I'm going to go for the mega Mid-South 300-mile FKT the next day. And I was like, oh yeah, sick, that's happening. We're going to grab the microphone and we're going to announce it to the world and do like a live stream from the finish line and tell everybody about it. So, during the week, Chase Wark catches word that this is happening and starts making, there he is, Chase, brand new father, Chase Wark, everybody. This guy's incredible. And he's like, oh, hey, man. He's like, Ted's doing what? And he's like, I want to do that. And I was like, oh, man, here we go. We're going to have a race. So then, fast forward, Ted doesn't know about this. Friday night, race gets canceled. Ted immediately says, I'm doing it, and now it's going to be a fundraiser for United Way of Payne County for the fire relief victims. Chase says the same exact thing. They wake up in the morning. We're working on Chase's bike like crazy in the morning to get him ready. Ted is completely dialed, ready to crush souls. Ted rolls out about 50-some minutes before Chase. We get him through the park and out of town. Chase leaves a little bit later, and for what, was it 20 minutes? For 20 solid, beautiful minutes, Ted King was the Mega Mid-South FKT holder. And then Chase came from behind and he snatched it out of his hands. They raised almost $12,000 together for fire victims for Stillwater. That's the type of man that Ted is. That's the type of man that Chase is. That's the type of community that we all have here together tonight. So thank you, man. Ted, you're amazing. You deserve this award. All of you. Lelan, I love you. Amanda, I love you. John, I just met you. I love you too, brother. I want to hear you speak more. We've got some plans for you, man. We're going to have some speaking engagements for this guy. Tonight, as soon as we're done, please come over to Merchant Cycles. Niner, thank you so much, Niner, for being the sponsor for the after party. And then after that, Dan Hughes is going to be covering the tab at Mall Readies for everybody in the room. Yeah, sick. Thanks, Dan. What a guy. What a sweetheart. All right, that's all for me tonight. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to hand it back over to Jason, the man of the hour. It's been a real good time. I love you.
All right, let's hear it one more time for our new G-Choffers. Let's go. I'm not comfortable walking around. To Amanda and Ted, thank you for making it being fun to be a fan of you. To Lelan and John, as an event promoter myself, thank you for being a carrot worth chasing and looking up as an event promoter. So thank you again to all of you. All right, we've been hinting at it. It was a hint for our last award here. So we did get a word that our last award is here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Just as the true ethos of gravel centers around the people who shape our sport, the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame will always honor the individuals who have made a lasting impact. But gravel is more than just its riders, promoters, and storytellers. It's a culture built on unique traditions and quirks and moments that set apart from any other discipline. That's why we as the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame created the Gravel Icons category, recognizing things, ideas, and experiences that define the heart and soul of gravel cycling. These icons capture what makes us so different, welcoming, and downright special. So far, we've inducted 2 gravel icons, the legendary Salsa Chase Lounge and postcard registration. And tonight, we are thrilled to add another unforgettable piece to the gravel culture, to the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame. Gravel cycling has never truly been about the fastest times. Sorry, Ted and Amanda. The biggest names, sorry to all the G-Choffers, or the hardest courses. It's about heart, perseverance, and deep-rooted community that makes this sport special. Gravel has always been about signing up, showing up, and grinding it out, and pushing forward when every fiber of your body is telling you to stop. There's a moment in every gravel race that captures this spirit more than any podium or finish line sprint. It's the moment when the final rider crosses the line, not to silence, but to cheers, hugs, and celebration. It's the moment when the entire gravel family gathers, not to measure speed, but to honor resilience. Because in gravel, the last rider to finish isn't alone. They're surrounded by the very best of what this community stands for: inclusion, support, and unwavering respect for the effort it takes to complete the journey. And so with that, it is an absolute honor to welcome our next gravel icon to the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame. Please welcome DFL Dead Freaking Last into the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame.
Hi. I was asked to accept the DFL award on behalf of everybody else who has come in last, and it's really, really incredible. I've had the honor of being DFL a couple times, and somebody actually asked me one time, do you plan to get DFL? And I just wanted to tell them, like, you really think I wanted to be out there for 14 hours? Like, no, nobody who does DFL plans to be out there. But things happen. You're working your absolute hardest for 50 miles, 100 miles, 200 miles, whatever it is. So to each of you who has come out and cheered at the finish line and waited and said, oh my God, they're still 5 miles out, how is that possible? Thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for waiting. You know, you all saw that video of my finish at Mid-South, and I see that and I still think that really happened. So if you haven't had the experience of being at a DFL finish line, I really encourage you to. Sometimes it's hard to stay up that late, but I promise you it's totally worth it. Because for those of us who are out there grinding it out by ourselves, you haven't seen anybody else in 20, 30 miles, it really means the world to come across the finish line and have people there. So thank you for honoring this incredible award, and let's go ride some gravel.
All right, let's get all the G Choffers up here, every single one, and then also if you are giving the jacket for our new G Choffers, come on up on stage. Let's give it one more round of applause for all of our G Choffers. All right, if you got a vest on, you better get up here. All right. And last, I'm going to keep it going so they don't start chit-chatting. So, and last and certainly not least, it's time for the raddest jacket in gravel. In just a couple years, the raddest jacket in gravel has become more than just apparel. It's a badge of honor. When you spot that G-Choff patch on the back and the name stitched on the chest, you instantly know that person has left a lasting mark on our sport. We invite all G-Choffers to wear your jacket proudly at all and every event. Let it stand as a symbol of what's possible and remind the rest of us to keep striving and pushing forward and give us what we can to our amazing gravel family. So let's give it one more time. Man, I don't bite. Get over here. All right, congratulations to our next class of the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame. All right, we'll make sure we get a photo of all of them, but one more time to the Gravel Cycling Hall of Fame. We'll see you across the street at Merchant Cycles.